Okay.
What is going on YouTube? And welcome back to my channel, JoJo Speaks. Thank y'all so much for joining us for this being our review for 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After. This is season 9 and episode 13. And I'm back with Dustin. Dustin, how are you doing today?
We're doing okay. We're just hanging in there. I'm still going through some things. So I'm hanging in there as much as I can right now.
Absolutely. Always praying for you, Dustin. Always praying for you. But let's get this thing started. As I was telling Dustin before we went live, I typically don't have too many issues with the men on this show, on the 90 Day Fiance series in general, but the women seem to have some type of possessiveness over their men, as well as trying to, with their actions at least, trying to push them away. Now, the thing that I'm trying to do is kind of garner whether they are doing this just for the cameras or whether these are just the type of women that they are. I don't know what it is, but anyway, so the first couple that I want to start with is Darcy and Georgie. So Darcy and Georgie, they just had a nice celebration. I think it was their 1 year anniversary in Georgie's home country. And they're packing up to go back to, I believe they live in Miami, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And so they're packing up, Stacy and Florian, they're in the room as well. And Darcy brings up this question to excuse me, this question to Georgie about him wanting to come back to his home country, and he wants to come back to his home country to make some purchases. He possibly wants to buy a condo there or something of that nature. And Stacy and Darcy are kind of asking, like, well, how do you have the money to do all this stuff? And just random questions. We see Robin. Robin is in the building. Robin says, "Hey, fellas. Hey, Robin. Good to see you, boo.
Hey,
Thank you
Robin.
so
Good to
much
see
for
you.
being here." And then Robin also says, "What's going on, Dustin?"
What's going on, Robin?
Yeah, so, and then we have another comment here from Robin. Let me pull it up here. Let's see here. And then Robin also says, "How are you, Joe Nathan?" I'm doing very well, Robin. Tomorrow is my birthday. I will be turning 36 tomorrow. I was undecided as to what I wanted to do for my birthday. Typically, I go to Atlanta to visit Jennifer and Tyrone. This is also a good time for my parents to spend some time with them. And I also thought about going to Carowinds, but I decided that this year I'm just going to lay low, stay here in Columbia, South Carolina, and just enjoy my day. And so
Happy
Robin
birthday.
also.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday, by the way, tomorrow.
Thank you so much. Robin also says, now everyone wants to buy property in their home country." Yeah, I guess that's what he wants to do, child. I guess that's what he wants to do. But Darcy is starting to think, like, why would you want to do that when we can buy a house in Miami where we live, and all this good stuff. And then Darcy and Stacey also bring up the fact that Georgie is always very secretive. He's not, open with what he wants to do. And, they're saying that the lines of communication aren't open. And then Darcy also slips in there, maybe there are other chicks out there. And then Robin also says they need new, hold on, give me just a second. Let me take a picture of this once more. Okay. And Robin also says they need, oh, they need new writers. Oh, yeah, yeah.
New writers, yeah.
Yeah, they definitely, because it's like the same song and dance every single time. Like with every single argument that these couples have, it seems to be the about the same thing. Like it seems to be the same thing over and over and over again. And then Robin has another comment here. Let me get this comment up and then we will move forward. Robin also says, "Happy birthday, my dear Joe Nathan. Wishing you uh, a merry. Hold on. Oh, wishing you many, many, many more. Thank you so much for that. Happy birthday and blessed and blessed. Thank you so much for that, Robin. I really, really
Hmm.
appreciate that. But anyway, so Darcy and Stacy are sort of kind of teaming up on Georgie. And she's throwing this huge fit with Georgie, and it's really,
Hmm.
really annoying me. It's really, 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 really annoying me. Lady Virgo's in the building. Hey, Lady Virgo, thank you so much
Hey,
for
Lady
being here,
Virgo.
boo. Love you for watching.
Love you for watching, Lady Bird. Thank you for being here.
Excuse me. And then Robin has another comment up here. Let me get this comment up and then we will move forward.
Alrighty.
Let's see here. Hold on. There we go. And then Robin also says, how old tomorrow? So we already got reading glasses, or are you ready to join? Or are you ready to join me? I'm turning 36 tomorrow, Auntie Robin. I will be 36 tomorrow.
I bet you that's hard to believe already.
It definitely is. It seems like I just turned 35 yesterday, and now tomorrow I'm going to be 36. It's crazy to me that I'm getting into my late 30s. Like I'm still sort of kind of in my mid 30s, but oh Lord, it just yeah, time is just flying by.
Time
Lady
flies.
Virgo also Lady Virgo also says to Robin, "Hey Robin, good evening to you." And so yeah, I'm like just tired of Stacy and Darcy, to be honest. Like they seem like, they're beautiful women for sure.
Uh,
No one can take that away from them. However, the way that they act towards their husbands on this show is so cringy to me and unacceptable to me as well. Now, as I said before, I don't know if these women are creating all of this drama out of thin air, because that's where it seems like it's coming from, out of thin air, just for TV's sake, just for the fact that they're on a reality show, or if this is, or if these are actual things that they're worried about, or things that are genuine, and they don't seem like things that are genuine. And if this is really the way that women act, then that just makes me that much happier than that I'm a gay man. But Dustin, what are you thinking about when it comes to Darcy and the way that she's treating Georgie?
I
how,
don't.
how
I
are you
don't. I
feeling
don't.
about it?
I don't like it. I don't like the. Uh, nobody deserves to be treated like that from your wife or for your for her husband at that point. And I like to gonna be you're either gonna be yourself. You're not gonna be anywhere. That I don't like that, and I don't like that at all. So, uh, Darcy, you better start making some changes, or you're gonna be having a divorce finalized here pretty soon. So I don't think he's gonna put up. I don't think they're gonna put up with it much longer.
Uh, Lady Virgo says down in the comments to JoJo Speaks and Dustin Butler, hey, good evening to you all. I love you both so much. We love you too, Lady Virgo. Thank you so much for being
Love you too,
here.
Lady
Love you,
Burger.
girl,
Thank
for
you.
watching. And so Darcy says that she does not want to go to the airport with Georgie. She wants to get a separate cab with Stacy and Florian, and she's going to leave. And Georgie told her that his sister and his other family members are going to be coming to see them off. And they just wanted to say goodbye. Darcy did not think about that. Darcy does not care about that. She's just going to leave off and just leave. And so when Georgie's sister and his other family members, when they come, they're like, "Where's Darcy?" And Georgie says, she got heated with me about something random. He doesn't know why she's getting so upset, which, I completely understand why he doesn't understand the reason why Darcy is getting out of hand with all of these
Uh-huh.
random accusations. And it's so annoying to me, so annoying to me. And like, as beautiful as Darcy is, like her attitude and the way that she's treating Georgie is
Mm-hmm.
truly just unacceptable to me, and I don't like it one bit. I don't like it one freaking bit. I hate
Well,
it.
I don't like Darcy, and that's just I don't like Darcy at all, to be honest. Um, I don't know why they keep bringing her back to the show. Darcy is not a person that should be allowed to be continued to be on 90 Day Fiance. That's just my opinion, and everybody else can have a different way of feeling with that. But I like Darcy, and that's just my opinion.
Robin says down here in the, let me see here. Hold on. Y'all have to bear with me when it comes to these comments, honey. Just bear with me. So I have to take a picture of them and then blow it up. And so Auntie Robin says down in the comments, speaking of aging, now that I have pressed the 60-year threshold, I have limited. Hold on, let me take a picture of this one more time so I can read it, y'all. I'm so sorry that I'm taking all this time with these comments, child. But I know that they are important, and I know you guys want me to read them for you. So give me just a second.
Yeah, we're just bear with us all too. Bear with us.
Yeah, just bear with me, y'all. I'm still getting new to this whole thing, so just bear with me, y'all. Here we go. The threshold. I have limited tolerance for the unrealistic. Agreed. Unrealistic shenanigans brought to us by the likes of Darcy, Marcy, Lacey, and Casey. Yes, absolutely. It's tiring to see. And once again, Robin, the way that these women are treating these men, it's deplorable to me. I don't like it whatsoever. I don't appreciate it. I hate seeing it. And especially when most of the time these men are doing nothing wrong, like absolutely nothing wrong. Like it's
Mhm.
disgusting to see. And it seems as though that's the only type of woman that these shows are looking for. And so I don't like it at all. Lady Virgo also says, hey Jojo, happy birthday to you. I hope you have the best day ever. Enjoy. Wish you many, many, many more handsome. Thank you so much, Lady Virgo. I appreciate that love. I appreciate that love a lot. So
Yeah.
yeah, I it's so ugly to me the way that they are treating these men like they're strangers to them or they're enemies, and like they continue to push them away. Lady Virgo also says it's okay, you're doing just fine, Jojo. Thank you so much for that.
Mhm. Uh,
Yeah, it's they're pushing these men away, and then we see in the preview for the next episode, Darcy's going to ask him if he just wants to get a divorce to get it over with, and that's the most upsetting part about this is that these women know that these men love them, and they know that these men don't want to leave them. So I just feel as though they're bringing up all this drama just for drama's sake, just for TV sake, just to have
mhm.
a storyline for their issues, and so. I just hate it all together. I really do just hate it all together. But anyways, moving on to Brandon and Julia. We can just go briefly with Brandon and Julia because they didn't have much to say on this episode. But Julia has decided that she's walking off and she's just going to take her parents to New York. And then from New York, their parents are going to go to her home country. I'm not exactly sure what Julia's home country is, but she's just going to take her parents to their home to New York and then fly them back to their home country. And Brandon's parents rather, they're not really
Mhm.
understanding why it is that Julia is acting this way. Julia says that Brandon doesn't do anything for her and she does everything for Brandon, and I'm like, Julia seems not to understand all the things that Brandon is doing for her. He brought her parents over to America as she asked him to do during the last resort. And so it's like she's disregarding that he absolutely did that for her. And once again, like, I don't know if she's just doing this just for drama's sake. I don't It's so ugly to me. And Brandon
Mhm.
loves Julia so much, and he does all these things for Julia, and
Mhm.
Julia's not recognizing them whatsoever. I really want for Brandon to just leave Julia high and dry, but I don't think that Brandon has the heart to do that. And I think he would feel like his parents would be disappointed if he did that to her. But why is it that you think, Dustin, that Julia is going off the handle with Brandon when he's kind
Mhm.
of agreeing with his parents that this plan for them to just go off and just take this long vacation doesn't make sense because they don't seem to have the money to do it.
Right. I don't like Julia, and I have said that from day one. And Julia is a very controlling person, in my opinion.
Hmm.
I don't like Julia, and I think that Brandon deserves better than what he's getting treated like. I haven't never liked Julia from day one. I've seen Julia on different seasons, so this is not my first time seeing Julia, and it might be your first time. But Julia is a very controlling person, so it don't really surprise me of how she's acting. But she does not. He does. But Brandon does not definitely does not deserve to be treated like this. And I think that it's best for them to break it off and continue on with a different relationship because I don't think. Why would you want to spend the rest of your life being miserable? Uh, and I'm saying that for the both of them, not just Brandon, but for both of them. He wants to have a kid, and apparently she don't want to have a kid now. Um, that's a red flag to me because he's always wanted a kid uh, from day one, and she knows that, and it really hits a nerve he d- when she don't want to have a kid with him. Hmm.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. Hmm.
And I stated on our previous review, this whole conversation about couples talking about having children, and when one partner wants to have children and the other partner does not want to have children,
That's a
that
breaking point
argument
for
is
me.
never going to go away. And my advice to anyone who's in that situation, you need to have these types of conversations early on in your relationship, so that when the
Hmm.
conversation comes up later, it's an easy conversation. Because
They're not
if
surprised by it.
kids
Hmm.
like myself, I'm
Right.
I'm not going to want to be with someone who has kids now. I'm not saying that I would, I don't want to have kids of my own. Now, if my partner just so happens to already have a child, then I'm cool with that. That's cool. And if my partner maybe wants to bring children into our lives, so maybe we can talk about that. But Julia clearly does not want to have any children. She clearly has stated that yes, she wants to get a second opinion, and yes, she's going to have surgery if she is going to move forward to have children. But it's clear that she is not interested. She's not interested at all in having any kids. And I don't know why Brandon does not realize that. Now, I understand that Julia has never come out and said that she absolutely doesn't want children. But the point to us as the viewer is that it's clear to us as the viewer that Julia don't want no kids at all. So, especially since Brandon is getting older, it's best for Brandon to just Julia so that he can then pursue it and having kids. And he'll be happier that way because as long as he's with Julia and as long as Julia does not want to have children, he's going to continue to be unfulfilled. And there's nothing worse than living life feeling that you're unfulfilled. Having children, that desire never goes away. It never goes away. So I agree with you, Dustin. I just want Brandon to leave Julia, leave her where she left her, and move on with someone. Excuse me, who is interested in having kids, so that he can be happier. But anyways, we'll see what happens later on. Let's see. Dustin, can
Yeah,
you still hear
you're.
me?
I can hear you now. You were frozen there for a minute, so I can hear you now though.
Dustin, are you still there?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Dustin, are you still there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Yeah, we just went bad for a minute, but I think we're back on live together. All
Okay.
right, and so Lady Virgo says agreed. So let me see here. So let's move on to the ski trip. The
Yeah.
ski trip that's happening between Alexi, Lauren, as well as Jovi and Yada. So Jovi,
Hmm.
Yada, Alexis, and Lauren, they're going to their destination first. Um, they're going together. They're flying together, and Lauren says that she's really looking forward to this vacation. Her and Alexi don't get a lot of time to spend just together. While they're at home, and also Yada and Jovi, they love to be in the cold. They love the winter. They love the snow. They love all that good stuff. So they go off to their destination. I can't remember exactly where they end up going. I think they're somewhere in New York, if I'm not mistaken. But I honestly can't remember for sure where they're going to, but they're going on a ski trip. And so the other couple is Elizabeth and her husband. They haven't made it just yet. And so they go off to a bar. They're having a couple of drinks. They find a newlywed couple who got married in Vegas by Elvis, which a lot of people do in Las Vegas. They get back to Yada and Jovi's room, and they play Never Have I Ever, which is a game where you put up, they start off with four fingers and back in my day when I was in high school on the bus and band doing band trips, we started off with five fingers, but here they are. They start off with four fingers, and the subject of how they looked in their past is different from the way that they look now. Alexi pulls up a picture. He says that he used to have a piercing right up under his lip, and he used to have blonde hair, and he looked nothing like the way that he looks now. At least to me, like his picture of him when he was younger. I was surprised to see that. He definitely grew into his looks for sure. And so then Jovi brings up the fact that Yada looks completely different from the way that she used to look. And Lauren said that he said that she was ugly. I don't remember him saying that she was ugly, but I do remember him emphasizing the fact that she does look very different than she used to, but she's had quite a bit of plastic surgery. And, a lot of times plastic surgery can change your features in a way, and, all of that good stuff. But Jovi didn't mean anything about it. He wasn't trying to, put her down. He wasn't trying to, purposefully offend her in any way, shape, or form. But Yada definitely felt some type of way about that. And especially if you know that that is a sore subject with someone, especially when, they've had a lot of plastic surgery. And a lot of times that is a sensitive subject for a lot of those type of people. You may not want to bring that up around other people, maybe in private conversations, but, when you're talking about it, in a group setting, then that may not be the best topic of discussion to bring up and about. And so I understand why Yara felt that way, but at the same time, Jovi was just making a joke of it. He was just saying, look, she looks so much more different. I remember him saying that she looked different or something along those lines. But, Lauren, when she talked about it to Alexi, she was saying that, Jovi was trying to say that she looked ugly before. Watching that.
I didn't. Sorry, I didn't like that when when he said the word ugly, because that's not kind of disrespectful in my opinion. People get older, they have
Mhm.
start to look different. So, they look, as long as she's happy, that's all that matters to me. But when he said the word ugly, I didn't agree with that part. No, I didn't agree with that so far. Mm-hmm. Because I think that was pretty
Yeah,
disrespectful in my
it's
opinion.
it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't a big blow up. If he did say ugly and I just didn't hear it, because I don't
Mm-hmm.
remember him saying the word ugly per se. I do remember him saying that she looked different than she used to look, but I don't remember
Mm-hmm.
him saying ugly. But he could have may well have said that. I'm not sure. I'll have to look at it again, watch it
I
again.
don't think
But
he said the word
anyways,
ugly. I just he
it
didn't.
it
Mm-hmm.
I'm just glad that Yara didn't really blow up on him. I'm glad that she really didn't. She did take offense to it. She said that she had been to therapy about her, the issues she had about herself physically. So of course that is a sore subject for her, and it wasn't a smart thing for Jovi to bring that up in in public conversation amongst friends. So I understand
Right.
why Yara felt the way that she did, but I'm glad that she didn't blow it up and get really really angry about him. Now she did throw some shots at him, saying that he didn't look as good as he does now back in the day as well. So she got hers in, but we'll
Mm.
see what happens when Elizabeth and her husband show up on the ski trip on the next episode. We'll see how things with Elizabeth and Lauren end up in the next episode. But let's move on to our last couple, Jasmine and Gino. So uh, Jasmine and Gino, they're dealing with Matt. And so Jasmine is now in Miami with Matt, and they're going shopping for baby clothes. And Jasmine is really, really upset with the fact that with the fact of Matt's reaction to finding out that their child is going to be a girl. And, he wasn't happy. And he made that
Mm.
very clear. Now, he wasn't being ugly about it and saying, oh, I don't want a girl. I don't want it to be a girl. He didn't say those words per se, but he did make it very clear that he really, really, really wanted their baby to be a boy. And so Jasmine shares the story that her father left her life when her mother got pregnant with her, and he found out that Jasmine was going to be a girl, and
Oh.
he had nothing to do with her in her life. And she sent him the pictures of her when she graduated her college career.
Mm.
And he then once again said that he didn't want to be in her life and he wanted nothing to do with her. And so Jasmine has a lot of trauma when it comes to not being accepted by her father because she is a girl. So I
Oh.
do understand Jasmine's anger towards Matt to a certain extent. However, I do feel like Jasmine is putting her foot on the gas pedal a little bit for the cameras, just a little bit, to kind of blow it out of proportion.
Oh.
And Matt's really, because Matt doesn't know Jasmine as well. It's kind of weird to him that she's blowing up about this. And then they get over to the car, and Jasmine, well, she actually tells him before while they're still in the store, because he's starting to pick out camouflage stuff, and Jasmine is like, the baby's not going to like it, and all that good stuff. Babies don't care whatever they're wearing, but anyways, that's just the way that Jasmine talks. But Jasmine then
Yeah.
goes out to the car, and waits for Matt to come out. Matt comes out, he doesn't have anything, and Jasmine is very upset that he did not buy any baby clothes. And so, this garners another fight between the two. And she's starting to say that she's just giving him all the bad things that a woman can say about a man. And
Uh-huh.
then Matt says, well, this must be what Gina was talking about with you, because she was really taking some low blows at Matt. I can't remember exactly what she said to him, but she was sort of kind of being disrespectful about him. She was saying
Uh-huh.
F him and all this good stuff. Let's see. Lady Virgo says down in the comments, I just have to roll my eyes and shake my head every time Jasmine appears on the screen. Unfortunately, sorry. Yeah, you know what, Lady Virgo? As I've been seeing Jasmine on this season of 90 Day Fiance, I'm starting like not to like her myself. And
I,
I was originally thinking that she was acting the way she was acting because she was with Gino, and Gino wasn't really showing any tender, caring, loving affection towards her. But now that she's with Matt, who's seemingly a better man than Gino, she's still giving him the same fire. She's still giving him the same lip back, and it's really annoying to see. Now, Matt does end up apologizing to Jasmine while they're in the car, and Jasmine does accept the apology, but Jasmine really has to watch the words that come out of her mouth, because she's really going to lose every man that comes into her life. And I have a feeling that this really does go back to the fact that I think Jasmine really just does not like men,
uh,
excuse me, because of the rejection that she received from her father. Because her father did not want her, because her father does not want to be a part of her life, I think something inside her just has an issue with men in general. And I think she just wants to be taken care of by a man and being waited on hand and foot by a man. But Dustin,
Mhm.
what were your thoughts on Jasmine and Matt's interaction in this episode? Do you think Jasmine was going overboard with what she was saying with Matt, or do you think that she was
I think she.
justified in what
I
she
think.
said?
I think she. I think she was going a little bit too overboard for me, Jonathan. As you know, it's hard for me to talk about my situation as my own situation. So it's I have my situation with my dad as well. Uh, Saying I'm a burden
Mm,
because of my disability. So
yeah.
something like this really brings it up for me. So I feel bad for her, and I think she makes it. Also makes thinks that she makes it more difficult on herself sometimes as well. But I also do feel bad for her because I know how it feels sometimes. hmm I know how that feels because I go through it.
Yeah.
I went through it myself, and I still go through it to this day. I have to live with it the
Yeah,
rest of my life.
and 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 I'm so sorry that you have to go through that, Dustin. Not being accepted by one or both of your parents is, to me, probably would be one of the worst feelings ever to feel. And so I would hope anyone who's going through that, is in touch with their spiritual side and in touch with God, and is able to feel His love, the love that they're missing from their parent who may not be accepting of them. But I get why Jasmine feels the way she does. I really, really do, and I understand that this is a sensitive subject when it comes to Jasmine because she's feeling this way, and she doesn't want her future daughter to feel this way either. However, I feel like she's overreacting with Matt. If a man's not happy about having a girl, then that's just the way that he feels about it. And that doesn't mean that he's not going to love her. Now, I understand why Jasmine may make that assumption about him, but you can't make those assumptions when it comes to things like this. Lady Virgo also says, reaction about Jasmine equals annoying and overly dramatic as heck. Yes, she is extremely over dramatic. Jasmine is the epitome of a drama queen, like point blank and period. Like Jasmine just loves to be dramatic about everything in her life, and it's really, really, really annoying to watch. Like, I didn't mind it watching Gino and Jasmine together because Gino seemingly deserved it, but now that I'm looking back on it, I'm not sure that he necessarily deserved all the heat that he got from her. I feel like she was kind of, overreacting to a lot of things that Gino did to her. And Gino really did not deserve to be treated that way. No man or woman, for that matter, deserves to be treated that way. But anyways, then we have Gino. Gino meets up with his uncle, and as well as a family friend. They're meeting over some pasta. They're at an Italian restaurant, and Gino reveals to his uncle that Jasmine has moved to Miami and that she is pregnant. And Gino's uncle is actually the man who walked Jasmine down the aisle, because her father was not at the wedding. Let's see. Lady Virgo says down in the comments, facts, Jojo. Yes, probably talking about Jasmine. And so Gino's uncle says that he feels violated after hearing what Jasmine has done to Gino. And he says that karma is a B word. And Gino decides that he's going to write Jasmine a letter. He's going to write Jasmine a letter writing down all of his feelings, which I feel like is a great thing to do, because I'm not a person who's really good at talking off the cuff, to be honest. A lot of times I'm much more, comfortable with a script of some sort, so I understand why Gino wants to take this route. And so while Gino is writing out this letter, he tallies up all the money that he spent on Jasmine throughout their relationships and comes up with 75,000, over $75,000. I don't know if he's going to ask Jasmine to pay him that. I don't know if he's going to say to Jasmine,
he
this
was
is what I
gonna.
spent on our relationship. I don't know what the case might be, but
Uh,
I have a sinking feeling, Dustin, that Jasmine is going to end up going back to Gino. I just have that feeling that she's going to do that. But
I had that.
Dustin,
I
what were
had
your
that same.
thoughts?
I have that same feeling, Jonathan. I have to say that. Um, I have the same feeling that she's gonna end up going back to him. But I also think that I don't know if she's going to do that or not. But I'm preparing myself for the worst with Jasmine and Gino because I'm preparing myself. They're gonna go get back together, and I hope they don't. But we're gonna see what happens. I don't know what's gonna happen between them and 2.
How do you think it's going to go with Gino, reading this letter to Jasmine? What do you think her reaction is going to be to that?
I don't think she's gonna like it. I don't think she's gonna like it. And I seen the preview for next week, and she
Hmm.
ends up crying on the phone. Ends up crying in front of Matt on the phone with Gina. So I'm just gonna drop a little tea there.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
it's not gonna turn out too good, Jonathan. So prepare yourself for next week because it ain't
And,
gonna
and
turn out very good.
and another thing that I noticed while watching this episode is that Jasmine talks quite a bit about Gino. In the previous episode, when they went to the OBGYN and the receptionist said that her name was Gina, and Jasmine was like, "Oh, my husband's name is Gino." And then when they get to the baby store to get some baby clothes for the baby, she sees a hat that is similar to the hat that Gino wears, and she says, "Oh, this reminds me of Papa Gino." And I'm like, Jasmine is way too attached to
She's.
Gino.
I like the word. I like the word to say she's obsessed with Gina.
Very.
She's always talking about Gina. So if you're no longer with Gino, then why do you talk about him so much? I don't want to hear the word Gino again from Jasmine. I know it's gonna happen, but I don't like to keep hearing the word Gino when you're not no longer with them. When you're not no longer with the person. Why do you keep talking about him then? Um, just like if I wasn't no longer with the person, if I was with somebody, and I was no longer talking to the person. Why would you keep saying their name for? And that don't make any sense to me.
It makes
Hmm.
no sense whatsoever, Dustin. And that leads me to believe that Jasmine is still attached to Gino. Jasmine still loves Gino, which I understand if that's the case. But if that's the case, then I understand that Jasmine wants intimacy with Gino and he
Hmm.
refused to give it to her. But if she wants to leave Gino, she's got to let him go completely. And,
She ain't
I
gonna.
don't want to
She
say
she
she has to completely forget about him, but forget about him. Go ahead, Dustin.
she's not gonna forget about him. I mean, as much as we want her to, she's not gonna forget about him. She's gonna continue to talk about him. That's the kind of person that she is, and I hope that she realizes that she's causing some of this issues. She's causing a lot of these issues, and if she don't change the way she's thinking, then if she continues to be in a relationship with, no matter who it is, she's going to be doing the same thing to the other people. It could be Matt, it could be Gino, it could be somebody else. And we don't, she just if she don't change who she really, how she's really like, then it ain't going to change it for her to continue to be the same circle and everywhere she goes.
Yeah. So Lady Virgo, I'm starting to feel the same way about Jasmine. Well, maybe not exactly the same way that you feel about Jasmine, but Jasmine
Mhm.
is really starting to annoy me because once again, I thought Jasmine was only acting the way that she was acting with Gino because Gino was such, not the best partner. But no, this is actually who Jasmine is, and she's just a drama queen, and she just thrives on drama. And same with Darcy and Stacy, like they thrive on drama. It seems like Julia's the exact same way. When she wants to deflect from a particular conversation, they start getting dramatic. And makes me so glad that I'm a homosexual man, that I don't have to deal with any of that foolishness. But anyways, that's all we got for this review. Dustin, why don't
Mhm.
you go ahead and share your social media contacts with the good people out there watching?
My social media contacts are Dustin Butler 700 on Instagram. My Facebook with Dustin Butler, and of course, always want to thank Jonathan for being here next by my side as always, and thank you for being my best friend. And happy birthday tomorrow. If I don't get to talk to you, happy early birthday. I love you very much.
Thank you so much, Dustin. Love you too. You guys can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is JoJo_speaks3020. My Facebook is Jonathan Lee. My email is WilliamJonathanLee@gmail.com. And my Cash App is $ Jonathan Lee 07. That's $JonathanLee07. Thank you, Lady Virgo. And thank you, Robin, Auntie Robin, for being down in the comments with us. My Hot Topics and Social Commentary show. Myself and Jennifer, we always have a great time on Thursday nights with with you guys, the viewers, talking about the random things that are going on in the world. So be sure to
Uh-huh.
join us on Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And also be sure to join us next week, same time, same place, same beautiful
Beautiful
faces.
faces.
Until then, we'll say bye for now, y'all. Y'all have a wonderful day and stay warm. And no, not stay warm because it is warm outside. Stay cool out there and stay safe out there. Love you guys for watching. See you on the next one. Bye, guys.
Yeah.